MSNBC guest host, or guest, I should say, Scott Galloway, has been freaking out because of a Reddit community, a subreddit known as Wall Street Bets, working together to invest in companies that had been shorted by Wall Street hedge funds. And so he doesn't like this. He thinks that these young men should focus on other things. And his rant, quite honestly, infuriated me, and I'll explain why after we watch. Let's take a look.
Maybe it's fun, fine, maybe it's a movement, but be prepared to lose 80 to 90% of it. And if it's still worth it, then have at it. But the biggest loss of capital here will be the human capital of young men who are sitting and staring at their phone and watching the price of Bitcoin or the price of AMC. And ask yourself, would you be better off taking that 1, 2, or 3 hours a day and working out, trying to form relationships with mentors, with romantic relationships, with people at work, getting great at something so you can be the person on the other side of the trade? The greatest loss in capital here is from young men who are more prone to gambling addiction, who don't understand the markets. I think we are setting ourselves up similar to how there's a ton of young women out there who became very depressed by sitting in their rooms looking at Instagram. Self-cutting and self-harm skyrocket. I think you are going to see an explosion in young male depression, and I think a lot of it is going to be reverse engineered to apps that convince you you're part of a movement or physically addict you to your phone. Ask yourself, would your time staring at Robinhood be better spent somewhere else? That is the real capital destruction that is taking place here.
So I would argue that Scott Galloway's time would be better spent actually acknowledging the fact that depression is already a huge problem in this country because of inequality that has been fueled by the behavior and activities that take place on Wall Street. And while he tries to paint a picture of the individuals who are on Wall Street Bets and who have engaged in investing in these companies like GameStop or AMC. The fact of the matter is, while they might be spending a few hours a day on a subreddit, there's an entire industry, an entire financial system of people who have developed their entire careers and livelihoods off of playing this game to the detriment of the majority of Americans in this country, right? Like the hedge funds being able to just do these naked shorts of these companies has accelerated the decline of certain companies. The risky bets that they've taken, especially the risky bets that took place prior to the 2008 economic collapse, led to the economic collapse. And so this argument of, wouldn't it be better if you guys weren't sitting in your mother's basement online all day and instead did something else? You're really hurting yourself. Why don't you go develop some relationships? I mean, he's purposely insulting people and arguing, no. Don't get involved in this game that has made so many people in this country at the very top tremendously wealthy. You should be focusing on things that better your life. Focus on the meritocracy, the faux meritocracy that this country is based on. No, I'm not buying any of that. I think that's a garbage argument. And at the same time, while he might be using flowery language, the fact of the matter is he is painting a very clear picture of what he believes these people are like. That they're these losers who don't have any interpersonal relationships and they're just online all day watching the stock market and doing nothing else. It's a pretty sick rant, and I did not appreciate it.
It was almost a perfect representation of boomer mentality, and
100%,
and elitist television mentality. Okay, and by the way, the anchor on MSNBC, the so-called left-wing channel, hilarious, Stephanie Rule, was in an orgy of agreement with him. Yeah, go ahead, tell them these guys, they don't know what they're doing. And the professor started with, Stephanie, you and Andrew have 2 decades of experience in the markets, and I have 3 decades of experience, right? And we're so good, and everybody young is so stupid. They're just on Instagram, and they're staring at this subreddit, and they should go out there and exercise or something, or do sewing. All right, so let's break down all the things that went wrong there. Number one, he look at the gender assumptions in there. Girls are on Instagram and boys are doing gambling. Are you kidding me? He just said it. And everybody on MSNBC is like, oh, bravo, that's right. only girls care about pictures, only boys care about making money. Thank you, Professor Galloway, is this what you teach at NYU? Oh my God, okay. So, and Anna's right. I mean, he's worried about naked shorts on Instagram when he should be worried about naked shorts in the market. Okay, you snap out of it.
That was a good one, Cenk. That was a good, I give you credit.
Rare credit, thank you, appreciate it. Anyways, now, I caught something else in there that he said that was really interesting. He said, you should spend time getting great at something so you could be on the other side of the trade. In other words, the hedge funds and everybody on Wall Street are geniuses. They're so great at this. And you are a dummy, and you're lazy, and you're a bum, and you're in your parents' basement on your subreddit. And if you just got good at something, then you could be a genius like the hedge fund guys. Now, Professor, what you failed to point out is the leverage that they get to use on the hedge funds, and that the leverage is far too deregulated. And that leverage is what causes every single crash. Not someone in a basement, not African-American house owners, which you blame the last crash on. I don't know what Professor Galloway's position on that was, but generally everyone on TV did, everyone on Wall Street did. Oh, they shouldn't have bought so many houses. It's their fault, not my beloved bankers. They're so great at robbing you. I mean, making lots of money. But wait a minute, the house owners didn't crash the market, the bankers crashed the market because they were over levered. Same exact thing here. Melbourne Capital, Citadel, they're all in trouble because they use too much leverage, and it creates systemic risk that could take down the entire market and the entire economy. That's why everyone's in a panic. And instead of blaming the bankers that use too much leverage, he tells you to get off of Instagram because you'll start doing self-cutting. Oh, come on. But Anna, and this is the part where I might lose some of you. I don't think they mean it in some sort of malicious way.
Oh, Cenk, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay, no, listen, but hear me out. Hear me out. I think that they genuinely believe these myths. I think they genuinely believe that the people on Wall Street are God's gift to humanity and that they're brilliant. It's not that the rules are rigged in their favor through things like leverage that they could use. I mean, the CDOs last time were garbage, trash. The whole system was trash last time. But what? Oh no! But still, the bankers are geniuses. Wait, this the same guys who crashed the entire world economy, and you're telling me they're geniuses? But they believe it. They believe it. Regular people are trash. They believe it. It's not that they're doing it as propaganda. Stephanie Rule, Galloway, all of them think average people are beneath us. And the elites have earned everything through a meritocracy, and they're all geniuses, and their money proves it. No, their money, sometimes proves that the system is rigged, not that they were geniuses.
Look, I don't know what's in his head, and so we're both speculating at this point, but sometimes people rationalize their own stupidity by telling themselves pretty little lies like that. But for people who know how the economy works, for people who should know what led to the Great Depression, to argue that the behavior on Wall Street right now is behavior carried out by intelligent people who know what they're doing, and it's all based on meritocracy, it's absolutely ridiculous, especially when you bring up the issue of using leverage to do these incredibly risky bets, right? Look at what happened in the lead up to the Great Depression. People taking out loans, taking out debt in order to invest in the market. Now, in that case, you had small investors doing it. And obviously it's a bad idea. Now you have entire hedge funds doing it and putting the markets in turmoil as a result. And so he knows that. He's not an idiot. He knows that. He knows that there's risky behavior happening on Wall Street by the very people that he's lauding in that stupid video. It's absolutely pathetic and disgusting. So either he has lied to himself enough that he believes his own pretty little lies, or he's incredibly stupid. But either one does not bode well for his character. I'll say that.
Look, I'll say one more thing. When you look at the power structure in this country, whether it's media, professors, think tanks, all bought off by billionaires. The billionaires set up the think tanks to come up with policy papers that says the rich should keep all the money and you shouldn't, right? All of that power infrastructure is designed to lie to you. Here's a very simple fact that no one can deny. Every crash in this country has been because of the financial community. Yet every time after a crash or in the middle of one, they'll come out and say it's their fault, his fault, their fault, Bob's fault, black people's fault, poor people's fault, regular people's fault, subreddit's fault, Wall Street Bet's fault, GameStop's fault. But they never ever say the truth. And it's an undeniable truth. You can read it in, like, it's clear as day. It's the bankers that took too much risk. And by the way, when they do that, guys, they also set up a vicious form of right-wing populism. They feed into it. When the media lies to you, the right wing then goes into an apoplectic rage because they have correctly deduced that the media is lying. They could see with their own eyes that it wasn't Bob who caused the crash, that it's the bankers. So what do the right wing do? Like, oh, George Soros and the others, the Rothschilds. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene's doing right now. That is super dangerous. And they opened a door to that insanity by constantly lying to protect their banker friends. It doesn't have anything to do with the conspiracy theories. The people are always constantly looking for the truth. It's right there in front of you. The bankers take too much risk, and they're of all different backgrounds. They're of all different ethnicities. The thing that unites them is the color green. It's obvious, but they won't say it. So stop listening to the liars on mainstream media.